For years, we've been lied to about the supposed health benefits of sleep. Big mattresses in bed with big pillow, and together these corporations have funded research by scientists to look at the alleged health benefits and necessity of sleeping. This campaign has been very effective. In 2018, the National Sleep Foundation reported that 40% of Americans take sleep into account when planning their next day and their week. The logic goes something like this. We spend somewhere between 25 to 35% of our lives sleeping, so it must be important. Sleeping well can improve cognitive function, improve concentration, improve learning, improve energy, improve longevity, contribute to the prevalence of positive emotion. Not sleeping can leave us prone to anxiety, depression, paranoia, restlessness, fatigue, obesity, heart disease, stroke, early cognitive decline, and an early demise. In this video, we're going to work on moving that 40% figure closer to zero by providing 17 whole tips on how we can collectively sabotage our sleep schedules together. By not sleeping collectively, we can all become more woke. The first tip is to replay all of the awkward things that happened during the day while you're trying to fall asleep. Say, for example, you sent a text message inviting someone that you like out on a date, and they didn't respond. I'd recommend taking at least 30 minutes, mulling over in your head all of the reasons that this means you're inadequate. The second suggestion is easy and fun. Stare at your laptop or smartphone while you're trying to fall asleep. This serves two important functions. The first one is inhibiting melatonin production, and the second one is having videos of cats running through your mind while you're trying to sleep. You might find yourself browsing your Facebook feed or mindlessly going through YouTube recommended videos and end up watching a Vine compilation and think to yourself, how did I get here? Really, it doesn't matter, as long as you're not falling asleep. Really don't like your job? Good news, you can use that as fuel to keep yourself restless and awake at night. Just think about how awful the next day is going to be, imagine scenarios of things going wrong, and tell yourself that waking up in the morning will be just terrible. Try a strategy that I use quite a bit in college. That is, constantly change your wake time and your sleep time so that your body never falls into a consistent schedule. Maybe you have class at 8:30 or work at 9. Get up for that early in the morning and make sure that night you stay up until 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and then the next day wake up at, say, 2 p.m. The goal is never to get into a consistent sleep schedule. When employing this strategy, make sure you convince yourself you're doing something healthy by sleeping till 3 p.m., even though you feel terrible when you get up early in the morning and even worse when you get up late in the afternoon. Related to that last tip, we're creatures of habit. We perform best when our body is used to performing certain functions, particularly when we wake up and before we go to bed. To prevent this process from happening, make sure we're constantly switching up where we sleep, when we sleep, how we go to sleep. Just avoid routine altogether. Make sure that you're eating, working, and watching TV from your bed. This way your brain builds an association with your bed as a place to do many different things rather than just sleep, so it's less likely that you'll be able to fall asleep once you're ready for bed. Avoid temptation and ensure that any sexual stimulation is confined to the domain of procreation. Seriously, James? Where does it even say that in here? Generally, after sexual stimulation, we feel pleasant and relaxed, which is not something that we want if we're trying to avoid getting those Z's. On a more exciting note, make sure you're using lots of drugs before bed, preferably stimulants like crystal meth, cocaine, Adderall, or a few cups of coffee. This will almost ensure that your sleep is pushed back a few hours and inhibit the production of adenosine, which is a chemical that signals to our brain it's time to go to sleep. Alcohol is great too. While alcohol can help us fall asleep, it significantly impairs the quality of our sleep by reducing the amount of time we spend in REM sleep. And we have the added bonus of potentially getting a hangover in the morning. Have a few tabs of acid in your freezer? Make sure you take them shortly before trying to fall asleep. After taking as many stimulants as we can get our hands on, we also want to have as many electronics present as possible. This way, there's a lot of light in our room, we might be tempted to use the electronics, and we're getting hit with electromagnetic radiation. We also want to make sure that we have at least one alarm facing us. That way we can nervously check the alarm from bed so we can monitor the progress we're making towards sabotaging our sleep. A key component of falling asleep is, of course, being comfortable. So make sure that your room's above 80 degrees or below 50 degrees so you're either shivering or sweating so badly you can't fall asleep. You also might have heard about the benefits of going out in the sun, and I have 2 words for you. Skin cancer. Avoid the sun, stay inside as much as possible. Don't exercise. Running? Really? Who's chasing you? We want to feel restless while we're trying to go to sleep. We also want to make sure we're as stiff as possible before we're going to sleep and our mind is racing, so we should avoid practices like doing yoga and meditating and other breathing techniques. To really capitalize on this, while we're practicing the rumination and worry techniques I mentioned earlier, also make sure that we're taking really shallow, short breaths to signal to our body that we might be in danger. Along with avoiding practices like yoga and meditation, some other things to keep our distance from the culture of the woke folk are essential oils and calming herbs like chamomile and lavender. These will just make you sleepy, which is exactly what they want. It's pretty ironic for people who call themselves woke. Have you ever seen one of these? Good. Eye masks are basically useless, so avoid them at all costs. I'll show you. I can't even see anything. This is stupid. Last but not least, and the most important tip and the point of this video, don't prioritize sleep. Life is so precious. Why would we want to spend a third of it unconscious? Let's do what we can to really take care of ourselves so we can be more present with our loved ones, set and achieve our goals, feel more alive, contribute more positively to our community. Think about the children. Thank you guys for taking this time to wake up with me. For more information on how to truly be healthy and to better understand the psychological inversion of reverse psychology, please don't unsubscribe from this channel. And remember, Santa knows when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake.